it's like a bunch of students that they were like me, like socially, I don't want to call them socially awkward. So this video is specifically for FAMU students, aspiring FAMU students. If you're in high school and you're wishing to make FAMU be your next step, or if you're, I don't know, if you're wanting to transfer from a junior college and come to FAMU, or you know, maybe you took a break off and now you want to go to FAMU. This video is for you, and I want to keep it as candid as I possibly can. So I don't really know how this video is going to turn out or what I'm going to say because it's not scripted, but I just want to talk to you all about my FAMU experience and things that I've learned and things that you can look out for that weren't told to me. So maybe it could be of some help to you in your journey at FAMU. So I entered FAMU in 2012, fall 2012. I graduated high school May 2012 as my class valedictorian, and I had a full ride scholarship, which was called the Adopted High School Scholarship. So literally everything was paid for: my books, my school, like my tuition, my dorm, my meal plan, everything. Like I had no fees at FAMU whatsoever. So my first year I stayed in Wheatley Hall, and the way it was set up, Wheatley was connected to Cropper, and then they were both across from McGuinn and Diamond and Truth Hall. Now I think all of those dorms are closed, maybe besides Truth Hall, but they're supposed to be renovating them. But if you know FAMU, you know, I literally went to class and went back to my room and I would go get something to eat. But I was not sociable whatsoever. I did not make friends necessarily. The people that I talked to were people that stayed in my dorm and they had classes with me. So there were two girls, they both stayed in Wheatley, and they also had my major, which was business and industry. So they, you know, we saw each other twice. So I ended up kind of linking up with them, and my roommate was someone that I knew from high school. She was my best friend from high school. So I wasn't forced to make friends, and I'm also from Tallahassee, so my family is here. I didn't really feel the need to talk to people. Not that I was trying to be stuck up, but I just wasn't a people's person. Like I didn't have social skills. That's it. So yeah, I went to my room and went to class, and that was it. And my grades were pretty decent. I actually began FAMU my 10th grade year of high school because I was a dual enrollment student, and dual enrollment just means that I was in high school but I was also taking college classes for college credit. So by the time I came in, I was basically in my sophomore year of college, but I was still taking freshman classes that I needed because you have to take a SLS class, you have to take a professional development class in SBI, no matter if you were dual enrolled or not. So yeah, I was still, you know, I had some classes with freshmen, but for the most part, I was in classes with sophomores and sometimes juniors, which did not help me with my social skills either, because they would be talking about things that I have no idea whatsoever what they were. So yeah, I finished my first year. My second year I moved to Phase, which is the on-campus apartments, and I stayed in Phase 3, and it was really nice. But my sophomore year is kind of when my life decided to turn at FAMU. I don't even want to call people friends because I use the word friend very sparingly. I gained a lot of associates my sophomore year because my sophomore year is when I crossed into my sorority. If you want to know what that was, I have a whole video. I'll put it right here. I did a whole video on that. So yeah, that's when I crossed into my sorority, and people just kind of like, people knew me that I didn't know knew me, because at my probate, when my mask came off, like people were like, wow, like that's where she disappeared to. Or like, that's why she's been gone, that's why we haven't been seeing her. Or like, Shakira, you want to be a Zeta? Like, foolishness. But I also had problems with my grades my sophomore year because I started getting into harder classes. So although I was 18, 19, I turned 19 near the end, I I was taking classes with students that were almost ready to graduate, and I can't say I wasn't mentally mature. I was mature, but not as much so as I could have been, you know, had I taken the class when I was supposed to take the class. So the class specifically that I'm talking about is intermediate accounting. And if you're a business student at FAMU, you know what that class is like. It's the third accounting class that you have to take. And the teacher that I had was horrible. He was a horrible professor. It was just bad. It was all bad. So I failed that class, and it made my GPA go down drastically. My sophomore year is when I lost my scholarship, my full ride scholarship. After that year, I lost my scholarship. So my tuition was all on me. Meal plan, books, all of that stuff was all on me. But I did still have my Florida medallion scholarship, which was my Bright Future. So my GPA was still good enough to keep my Bright Future scholarship, and I kept that to graduation, honey. I used all that money. Yeah, I still had that one, but I lost my adopted high school, and that really, it sent me into like a, I don't want to say depression, because depression is a strong word and it's not to be taken lightly, but it made me very sad, and it made me disappointed in myself, because I went from this girl that was valedictorian of her graduating class, all A's. My GPA graduating from high school was like a 4.2 or something, and I didn't even know it could go over 4.0. So my junior year, I moved into the Village, and the Village was a new dormitory on campus, and it was co-ed. I stayed with somebody I didn't know. Her name was Jessica. So yeah, I moved into the Village, and I took the class again. Y'all, I didn't pass it that time either. So I took this class twice. Did not pass the class because the second time I took the same professor, and he told me that he was going to work with me, look out for me, basically make sure I passed his class, and he didn't. And this professor, he always goes missing the last week of school, like when you're trying to find him about your grade. Missing, couldn't find him. So failed the class again, which made my GPA drop low. Not low, my GPA has never been below a 2.9. But it made my GPA, you know, it was like 2.92 or something like that. And I was just so disappointed in myself again, because I'm like, I cannot pass this class for anything in the world. So the third time I took the class, I took Professor Bates. And that has to be one of my top 3 professors at FAMU. And people kept telling me, Shakira, don't take him. He's hard. You're not going to pass the class. But I was determined to pass that class, y'all. I think I passed that class with a B. It wasn't an A, but it was a B, and I was just so like thrilled about the whole thing. So enough about that. School life. What I was telling you that story for is basically just stay on top of your grades, and don't be disappointed if you fail a class. It's college. You're going to meet some people that are super smart. You're going to meet some people and you're going to be like, how did you get in school? But don't be disappointed in yourself if you fail a class or if you're not doing well in a class, because some people that say they passing these classes, not really passing these classes, okay? What I will say about my process with crossing, I wish I would have waited maybe another year. I crossed when I was a sophomore. There were 3 sophomores on my line. Everyone else was either graduating soon or they were juniors. So I wish I would have waited until my junior year, just because, how can I say this? It took a lot for me. It took a lot. I'll just leave it at that. It took a lot. And if you're Greek or you get it. It took a lot. So I wish I would have waited. Yes, I had a lot of time to be active in my organization. 3 years. 3 long years. As far as people on campus, I will say that coming to FAMU is definitely like a family. It's a HBCU, historically black college or university. That's what HBCU stands for. So there are so many like family characteristics, and you know, black people are kind of like family oriented anyway. You know, you have that grandma that's not really your grandma, or that auntie that's not really your auntie. That's how FAMU is, and everybody is kind of like either your sibling or your, you know, that cousin that you love so much, or that cousin that you can't stand, but that's your cousin. And in this case, you know, that's your cousin because they go to FAMU with you. Like, nobody else can mess with them, but you really don't like them. That's how FAMU is. So, you know, like I said earlier, I wasn't a people person, and FAMU made me be a people person, just because people will force you out of your shell. Like, I would go missing for maybe like a week, and people would be like, where have you been? Like, what's wrong with you? You good? And that's how FAMU is. Like, people, you will find people that genuinely care for you at FAMU. I've met some of the most amazing people, like, in life at FAMU, and I've also met some of the most horrible people at FAMU as well, and I'll be okay if I never saw them another day in my life, and that's just how it is. Now, on to some of these tricks and hacks about FAMU that I wish people told me, but they didn't. Let's start with financial aid. Financial aid is the pits at FAMU. You can go at 8 o'clock in the morning when they open up and not leave until 3, because when you get to the window, they send you to Mr. Robert, and then Mr. Robert sends you to Miss Diane, and then Miss Diane sends you to someone else. Like, that's just how financial aid works. That's how FAMU works in general, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But it's annoying to have to do like all of these pit stops. And I did this up until my sophomore year. My sophomore year is when I found my plug in financial aid. So this hack is find your plug. Now, your plug is going to be someone that works in the specific office that you need, that's always going to look out for you. And you have to build, you know, genuine relationships with these people. Like, make them look at you as their little nephew or their little niece, because if they see you as family, they're going to look out for you. And you also have to go back and visit these people, because if you get what you need and then you disappear for a whole school year or a whole semester, and then you come back the next semester asking them for help again, they're going to kind of feel used. So I would ask her for help, and I'm not going to say her name, but she worked in financial aid, y'all. So she made sure I had my money on time, my net check, she made sure I had it on time. She always made sure, you know, I had anything else that I needed. If I had a problem with, you know, something on my account or a hole, she will always look out for me. Secondly, FAMU has a graduate feeder program, and a lot of people don't know about this. President Frederick Humphreys, I don't remember what number he was, but I think he was before Dr. Ammons. So Humphreys made this whole program to where FAMU students can go to any graduate school on the list that we have partnered with, as long as you have completed the graduate feeder program. Now, I'm going to put the website below to the graduate feeder program so that you're able to, you know, go look around and actually get a feel for it. And maybe graduate school is not for you, or maybe at the moment you're like, I don't really know how I feel about grad school. Do it anyway. Do it anyway. It's literally so easy. And although the should I say this? I'll say it. Although the requirements say 3.0, you don't have to have a 3.0. You don't. And that kind of goes hand in hand with being plugged in. So if you know someone connected to the graduate feeder program, they'll look out for you even if you don't have the 3.0 requirement that they say they need for the program. So don't be discouraged. Just go talk to them. Look around that website that I'm putting down in the description box. Do it anyway. And the graduate feeder program has schools like FSU, the University of Florida. Do they have Clemson? I'm not sure if we have Clemson. So we do have Clemson. Auburn, Clark Atlanta in Atlanta, Howard, Iowa State, Oklahoma State, Pennsylvania State, Purdue, University of Louisville, University of Maryland, Wake Forest. There's literally a whole list on schools, so make sure you check out that link that I'm going to put down below so you can get a feel for those programs. And I don't think I explained it thoroughly. So what the graduate feeder program does is when you complete it, you're able to go to any school on this list. Not apply to any school, but you're able to go to any school on this list. So you skip that whole long drawn out application process, and you have to, you know, wait on a return This is basically just feeding you right into that school as long as you complete the program. So it's an awesome thing, and a lot of students don't know about it, even those that are students now at FAMU. So just make sure, you know, you have a plan B after graduating from undergrad. Third trick and hack, the Career Center. The Career Center is so underrated with the students. They literally have jobs every week just waiting on people to come and apply. But we, you know, we have other things in mind. We want to party, we want to sit at the caf, sit in Coleman and talk with our friends and stuff like that. And the Career Center people are just getting paid to sit there in their office because nobody is coming. I'm not saying that you have to be a freshman going in there, but at least, you know, the end of your sophomore year, your junior year, make sure you're going to the Career Center, because I promise you that last semester of your sophomore year, go into the Career Center, make an account, and it lets you list everything that you're interested in, your major, fields that you might be interested in. So just go in there and see what they have for you. Talk to them. Get you a little planner. They have calendars every year for free. You just have to go and make an account. Lastly, this is the only other thing I can think about. If I think of anything else, I'll make a separate video. The scholarship office. So the scholarship office has scholarships, duh. But if you were like me, I came in with a scholarship, you can go to the office. If you're coming in with the scholarship, you can go to the office. It's like its own little family. If you need help with anything, I had trouble with math. So you can go in there and there's bound to be someone in there that's good at math. So just go to the scholarship office, and they also have like little other scholarships that maybe you can apply for. Do not buy books. Don't buy books. Save your money, because somebody in your class is going to have the PDF of the book. And if they don't have the PDF, I mean, somebody gonna have a PDF. For me, at least, everybody had a PDF. There are some professors that write books and they just need you to go buy their book because, you know, they're like that. That's pretty much all that I have at the moment, because those are things that I always wish that someone would have told me. But, you know, I found out at the end, my last year or second to last year. But I just wanted to give it to you because you just never know. And if you're coming to FAMU, at least you'll have this information. Granted, maybe some things will change, but the graduate feeder program is always going to be there. The scholarship office is always going to be there. And you're always going to have a hard time in financial aid, is proven. So if I think of anything else that I could possibly, you know, give to you all, some different tricks and tools of the trade and things like that, I'll definitely make another video. I hope you enjoyed this one. Give it a thumbs up, like it down below, comment. If you have any questions, just leave them down there and I'll be sure to answer them. Don't forget to subscribe just in case, you know, you don't want to miss anything, right? And I'll put all my handles down: Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.